But we want to go to our top story now. You've got it this morning. Some wild weather to talk about.
Yeah, it has been crazy. I mean, we've got all kinds of wild weather to talk about. Let's start right now in Texas, about an hour and a half west of Fort Worth. This is Giddings, Texas, and they had not one but maybe two tornadoes touching down, unconfirmed at this point, but we are tracking those. Also in Mineral Wells, Texas, they had a tornado touch down. Fortunately, nobody injured, but there was a lot of damage throughout the town. Roofs ripped off. Big problems there. Now, let's talk about snow. Can you believe this? We're going to talk about snow in Colorado. They got about 6 inches in parts of Aspen and points to the west, and that has led to massive flooding today in Colorado Springs. This is yesterday. They got up to 3 inches of snow and rain and flooding. Big problems there. And then more flooding in Norman, Oklahoma. Look at this. Rain, upwards of 3 to 5 inches of rain in several hours. People trying to drive through it. Some make it, some don't. And we're going to have more of that today. As you can see, folks, again, turn around, don't drown. Here's the deal. We're all along this front. It is just stuck there. And so we're going to watch these storms train over. So for the day today, more wet weather moving through Dallas, Houston, on into the Plain States. We're also looking at more wet weather starting to set up as another system comes in. Look at this. We've got more severe storms today from Fort Stockton to Austin. We're looking at tornadoes, golf ball-sized hail. And as we get into the weekend, this is hard to fathom. They've already some places picking up 12 inches of rain so far. There could be another 6 to 8 inches of rain, guys, for our friends in Oklahoma and Texas. Flooding, of course, the drought is over. We can't turn it off now, and there's another big round coming this weekend.
So they got to be concerned about flooding.
Absolutely.
Meantime, the weather's a big story down south. Parts of that region underwater this morning. Historic rains leading to major flooding in Texas and Oklahoma. And Al, we've been talking about this all week there, just getting deluged.
And it's going to go right through Memorial Day weekend, unfortunately. Look at some of this video that's come in from Corpus Christi, Texas. Historic flooding. Some areas in Corpus Christi picking up 6 inches of rain in a very short period of time, like several hours. I-37 was shut down for a while. Cars literally floating by the power of this water. So, and there is more on the way, unfortunately. Some guys, of course, take advantage of it. A little paddle boat and a beer are always not bad. As you look right now, we've got Fort Smith, 13.9 inches of rain. Dallas, 6.9 inches. That's more than double what they would normally have. Corpus Christi, 12.7 inches for the month of May, and it is not done just yet. And, of course, we're going to continue to track this, but we've got more heavy rain for Memorial Day weekend. Other parts of the country not looking so bad.
We begin with our top story, and it is about the weather. Another weekend of severe weather bringing ominous scenes like this one to the city of Oklahoma. Oklahoma City twisters across the country caught on camera, and NBC's John Yang is there in Oklahoma City this morning. John, good morning to you.
Good morning, Thomas. For the second straight weekend, thousands of people across the Midwest are waking up this morning without power after a night of violent weather. At least 19 tornadoes reported from Texas as far north as Minnesota. Another tense night across Tornado Alley. A rare look at a tornado forming southwest of Oklahoma City.
Tornado! Oh my God! Less than a quarter mile away.
With debris flying through the air.
Oh my God! These cows are sitting right here.
And livestock seemingly in the line of fire. Images of the ominous skies also blanketing social media. This lightning over Mustang, Oklahoma, posted on Facebook, with storms also forcing the Major League Soccer game in Kansas City to be postponed. And in Texas, remarkable pictures of hail covering roads and paralyzing traffic on Saturday, with heavy rains and flooding as well. It all comes on the heels of relentless storms and tornadoes in recent weeks.
Yeah, it's across the road. It's on the other side now.
As this morning, millions of residents again brace for more severe weather.
Yeah, but we're okay.
Despite all that havoc from the skies overnight, so far no reports of fatalities. Thomas?
NBC's John Yang in Oklahoma City. John, thank you, sir.
Dylan is tracking these storms. So, Dylan, at this point, could we be through the worst of it?
The worst of it was yesterday, but we are looking now at an additional threat moving into the upper Midwest that we'll see redevelop later on today. But look at what we saw yesterday. We had 28 reported tornadoes, even one in Louisiana. We had 105 wind reports of very strong wind gusts, and we also had torrential downpours. Here is the line of rain. Dallas has been getting slammed for the last couple of weeks with torrential downpours. So all of this heavy rain could lead to more brief flash flooding. But today the threat is going to lift off into Minneapolis and into Madison, Wisconsin. It's in this orange area right here where we have our best chance of large hail, damaging wind gusts, and also that dangerous lightning. But in this entire yellow area stretching all the way down into southeastern Oklahoma, we do still have the chance of some stronger storms. We can't rule out an isolated tornado, but the tornado threat was really more for yesterday than it is for today. That as we go into Monday, anywhere across the eastern half of the United States, we are looking at the potential of some stronger storms that will produce the dangerous lightning and the possibility of flash flooding. They'll redevelop out ahead of this cold front this afternoon, then again Monday afternoon, and then finally we'll start to see this exit to the east. But we are still looking at the chance. Even though you don't have those tornado warnings issued, you still have the danger of the wind gusts, the damaging hail, and the dangerous lightning. You need to be indoors when these storms hit.
Oh, tough stuff.
All right, but we want to get to our top story this morning. The potential for record-breaking flooding in the south parts of Texas could see up to 10 inches when it's all said and done. And this morning, residents are prepping for the worst. NBC's Mark Potter is in Wichita Falls, Texas. Mark, good morning.
Good morning to you, Thomas. You can see the rising floodwaters here racing through here about a half mile from downtown. This is normally a bike path. The river itself is on the other side of those trees over there. Officials had thought that they were facing a moderate flood that would end soon, but then they got shocking news that this could actually become a record flood, which put many here into overdrive. Racing against time and rising water, county workers and volunteers from the nearby Air Force Base worked day and night to fill sandbags to protect neighborhoods along the flooding Wichita River.
All this has been bagged up and sent out to Tanglewood, East Side, Burnett Park, out on 367 Wrangler Retreat. It's all going there.
Following heavy rain, the Wichita began to overflow, threatening homes along the bank. Hundreds were evacuated and power to their homes shut off.
There's still things inside that we propped up on card tables, sawhorses, things like that.
Based on earlier weather forecasts, authorities thought the flood would be moderate and wouldn't last long and were feeling relieved.
It's all a matter of timing.
But then during a briefing with the National Weather Service, a startling update Friday afternoon.
Looks like it's going to hit pretty hard and heavy.
Calling now for a potentially historic flood that could affect thousands of homes and last until late next week.
It was definitely an eye-opener. It kind of stunned all of us.
The new prediction suggests that with even more rain coming, the river could rise to levels 1 to 3 feet higher than the record-breaking 2007 flood that swamped nearly 170 homes in Wichita Falls. Now, local officials are revising their evacuation plan. They're also expecting more help from the state. The irony is that for several years, this area was facing a severe drought. They were worried about running out of drinking water. And now, this. Thomas?
Certainly a huge contrast.
A desperate situation in California is getting more dire as the drought shows no signs of letting up. On Friday, farmers agreed to cut back on their water usage to avoid further loss from the drought. It is taking a toll on homeowners as well, leaving some to find some rather creative ways to keep their grass green. Here's NBC's Hallie Jackson.
Drought shaming is in these days, and those getting the brunt of the attention? Celebrities. The emerald green estates of Jennifer Lopez and Kim Kardashian, all on very public display recently in aerial photographs published in the New York Post. But most California residents, celebrities or not, will do almost anything to keep their grass green, even in the desert. And they're finding innovative ways to do it.
Give me that ball.
Tom Gabor hates the brown spots in his backyard.
Why have a lawn if it's not green?
So he's hired Carrie McCoy's company to spray paint his grass green. When she started her business, Lawn Paint Pros, several years ago, she did 1 or 2 jobs a week. Now, with California mired in its 4th straight year of drought, she does 3 or 4 a day.
Business is booming. Green's my favorite color in more ways than one.
Other folks are turning to a more permanent but more expensive solution: artificial turf. Nancy Valentine saw her entire front yard turn brown thanks to California's strict new water laws. She hired a company to install the fake grass in its place for around $8 a square foot.
I'm excited about the change. I think it looks excellent. I can hardly wait till my neighbors see it.
No water, no mowing, no maintenance. It's always going to be green. It's always going to be clean.
For homeowners, fresh new ways of fighting the drought without having to sacrifice their urban oasis. For today, Hallie Jackson, NBC News, Los Angeles.
That's a beautiful lawn.
It is a beautiful lawn. It's going to stay that way, too. That you don't have to worry about the maintenance.
Today's top story, that damaging and deadly flooding in the south. The images coming out of Texas and Oklahoma are just unreal. Entire neighborhoods submerged. Crews using boats, even helicopters to make rescues. NBC's Gabe Gutierrez is in hard-hit Texas. Gabe, good morning.
Willie, good morning. This is some of the incredible damage we've seen. These three small houses, they had been across the street. Now, residents here say some of this damage looks more like a tornado than a flood. So far, at least 3 people have been confirmed killed in Texas and Oklahoma, and today, authorities are searching for at least 8 others missing, including several children.
This morning in Texas, a crushing Memorial Day. Hundreds of people waking up homeless. Local officials calling this flooding historic and catastrophic.
We do have whole streets that have maybe 1 or 2 houses left on them, and the rest are just slabs.
Here in Wimberley, one man survived, but his wife and 2 children, along with 5 other people, are missing. They were staying at a house along the Blanco River Saturday night when a wall of water lifted the home off its foundation. The river reaches flood stage at 12 feet, but it took just 1 hour to crest at more than 43.
This water rose quickly, unlike anything residents here say they'd ever seen. Look at where that desk ended up, all the way up in that tree.
Emergency workers raced to rescue trapped homeowners and drivers.
Oh my God! Stop! No, he needs to get out!
An elderly man was saved just moments before a raging river swallowed his SUV. But in Oklahoma, a heartbreaking loss. Captain Jason Farley, a veteran firefighter, drowned while trying to rescue people trapped by the floodwaters.
Farley was a very good man.
Late Sunday, tornado warnings were issued for parts of Kansas, Missouri, Iowa, and Illinois.
It's devastating.
Back in Texas, the damage assessment is just beginning. This small resort wiped out.
When you walk down here, you can tell it's going to take months to fix a lot of this stuff.
Overnight, there was a nighttime curfew that was in effect. Many Memorial Day events in this area have been canceled, and the governor of Texas is set to tour some of this damage later today. Willie?
Whew, those pictures are just astounding. Gabe Gutierrez, let the people there know we're thinking about them today. Thanks so much. And Dylan, it looks like not a whole lot of relief for the folks there either.
No, tomorrow and into Wednesday they will see some relief, but in the meantime we have still more rain in the forecast. Keep in mind this area picks up about 2 to 4 inches of rain for the entire month of May on average, and we have already seen nearly 20 inches in some parts of southeastern Oklahoma. Oklahoma City, to be exact, 18.7 inches so far this May alone. Dallas, nearly a foot of rainfall. Houston, about 7 inches of rain. And the problem is the rivers. The ground is totally saturated, and any additional rainfall continues to seep into the rivers, and some rivers are rising at rates of like 20 feet in 1 hour. That's why we're seeing the massive flash flooding. We've got this cold front moving in. We've still got this moisture streaming in from the Gulf of Mexico. So 25 million people are under this flash flood watch, including Oklahoma, Texas, and then now moving into parts of Arkansas and into western Louisiana. Any torrential downpours has the potential of producing more flash flooding. We also have the risk of some of our strongest storms in the same hard-hit areas across central and eastern Texas. We also have to keep in mind that large hail, damaging wind gusts, and isolated tornadoes are also possible. But in addition to that, up to 5 to 6 inches more of rain. And again, it's that moisture streaming in. We are going to see it start to push a little further to the east. So by Tuesday evening, just spotty showers in Texas, but we're still looking at some of the heavier rain to move into the Midwest. Again, these are your bullseyes down near Houston, down near parts of southern Mississippi, that's where we could end up with another 4 to 6, possibly even up to 8 inches of rain in ground that's already very saturated. It's a serious situation.
The death toll in Texas and Oklahoma is now up to 8. Today, authorities here in Hays County are searching for 12 people who are still missing, and there were new water rescues overnight just to our north.
This morning, Austin, Texas is drying out after floodwaters swamped some of the state capital's busiest downtown streets. More than 4 inches of rain fell in 1 hour. Nearly every creek overflowing its banks, stranding pedestrians and drivers and prompting dozens of water rescues. To the east, a small dam ruptured in Bastrop State Park.
Look at that tornado.
As several tornadoes touched down, like this one in LaGrange. The wild weather making it hard for forecasters across the state to keep up.
In my 25 years, I've never seen anything like this. Tornadoes touching down right and left across the area today, and flash flood producing and river flooding going on all simultaneously.
And the death toll is growing. Alyssa Ramirez, a homecoming queen, was on her way back from prom when her car was swept away.
She did the right things, you know, she called 911, she called her father, but it was just too much.
In hard-hit Wimberley, Texas,
I would describe it as a flood of biblical proportion.
And we're going to search down with the boats.
The National Guard has now joined the search for the missing.
I knew something was very, very wrong.
Julie Shields was on the phone with her sister Laura.
We are in a house that is now floating down the river. Call Mom and Dad. I love you. And pray.
Laura's husband Jonathan managed to escape with broken bones and a collapsed lung. But Laura and their 2 children, ages 6 and 4, are still unaccounted for.
She is with her babies, and she will be with her babies always in heaven.
Texas Governor Greg Abbott has just expanded the disaster declaration for Texas counties. 37 of them are now declared disaster areas. Willie and Savannah, back to you.
Those stories are just gut-wrenching. Gabe Gutierrez in Wimberley, Texas this morning. Gabe, thanks.
Unfortunately, we have word from Al that these storms are going to continue.
Yeah, we'll get a little bit of a break, but not very much, guys, unfortunately. I mean, you look at some of these rainfall totals so far just for today, for the last 24 hours. Locally, just west of Houston, 12 inches of rain. Austin, over 5 inches. Houston, almost 10 inches of rain, double what they get for the month. Wettest May in Fort Smith, Oklahoma City, Wichita Falls, and then as you get down into Texas, Austin and Corpus Christi, their wettest months ever. Right now, 61 million people are at risk under some flood advisory, watch, or warning, and you can see the showers and thunderstorms, more firing up to the north of Houston as we watch that. And as we move into the day, we'll see more storms firing up tonight into tomorrow morning across Dallas, Houston as well. Dries out a little bit, but then we're going to see more of the same again Thursday and Friday. Locally heavy rain today. Storms developing in the afternoon. Possibility of tornadoes from Dallas all the way to Woodward. And tomorrow, a smaller area, but we are going to be looking at the risk of strong storms. Garden City, Woodward, and Wichita Falls. Damaging wind, hail, and possible supercells. Rainfall amounts generally 2 to 3 inches from Atlanta into Lafayette, Louisiana. 1 to 2 inches really just about done in Dallas down into Houston. But we're going to see more heavy rain developing as we get into Thursday and Friday. And in fact, this severe weather moves to the east today and into the northeast tomorrow. So a lot of folks are going to be affected by this severe stuff.